because the scriptures were translated into Greek 3 centuries before his ministry. So I'm going to lean on the Old Testament Greek here, if you will. Those Old Testament passages have over 300 specific specifications that were fulfilled during his ministry. And as you go through those, they're profoundly, that he'd be of David's family. He'd be born of a virgin. He'd be born in Bethlehem. He would sojourn in Egypt. He would live in Galilee, in Nazareth, in fact. It'd be announced by an Elijah-like herald. That would occasion the massacre of Bethlehem's children. He would proclaim a jubilee in the world. Each one of these are taken out of the Old Testament. And his mission would include the Gentiles. That was in Isaiah, all through Isaiah. His ministry would be one of healing. He would teach through parables. He'd be disbelieved and rejected by his rulers. That was all predicted all through the Old Testament. In fact, just focusing on the last week of his ministry alone, he'd make a triumphal entry into Jerusalem. He'd be betrayed by a friend for 30 pieces of silver, smitten like a shepherd, would be given vinegar and gall. They'd cast lots for his garments. His side would be pierced. Not a bone would be broken. That's a specification all through the Torah and elsewhere. Would die among malefactors. His dying words were foretold. He would be buried by a rich man. He would rise from the dead on the 3rd day. And by the way, I found 7 places in the Old Testament that it's alluded to, incidentally. And his resurrection would be followed by the destruction of Jerusalem. So on it goes, on and on. And so the point is, you establish the integrity of the design, which establishes the identity of Jesus Christ. And once you know his identity, he then, of course, authenticates the rest. And that's not because there's 66 by 40 authors, that's not self-reinforced. That's a legitimate closing of the loop, if you will.